We had in the beginning of the parasha, there was the whole unique, interesting encounter of the Sar HaMashkim, the minister of cupbearers, with Paro. With Paro, they had an encounter, and Paro was very distraught, very stressed out. What was going on? He wasn't able to comprehend his dreams that he had, and to the point of death, where he feared his life. He feared that he was going to die if he wouldn't get a proper explanation of his dream. He tried all the Khartoumim, all of the Egyptians. No one succeeded in explaining what it was, until finally the cupbearer says, "Oh, I remember at Khatam Maskiyayom. I remember there was a Jew with me in the jail." And the language that the cupbearer uses is very, very interesting. He explains that Vesham itanu nar ivri eved lesar hatabachim. In jail with us, there was a young lad, eved, a slave, nar ivri, a Jewish young lad, eved lesar tabachim, who was a slave to the sar tabachim. The question is, why is the sar mashkim right now, the cupbearer, speaking in such low regard about Yosef? What did Yosef do wrong to him? Yosef helped him. He had a scared dream, and Yosef helped him interpret it for the best. 3 days later, he was back up to his position in the cabinet. Why all of a sudden is he degrading him? A young lad, what's a nar? Teenagers are usually, no offense to any teenagers in the room, they're usually a little not so smart. They make some stupid mistakes. Ivri doesn't even speak our language. He's not one of us. Eved, he's a slave. Why are you degrading him? What did he do wrong to you? So from here, Chazal are teaching us the power of first impressions. Anti-Semitism maybe, but the power of first impression. If we think honestly to the position that he was in, is he lying with any of the adjectives that the Sar Mashkim is saying? Was Yosef a Na'ar? Yes, he was young. He was a lad. Was he an Eved? Yes, he was an Eved. Was he an Ivri? Yes, he was an Ivri. Nothing he said was an actual lie. He didn't come and make something up about Yosef that wasn't true. But the problem here that Rashi points out to is he wasn't makir tov to what he did, and the Reshaim, they always speak bad about anything they can. He saw Yosef as a nar, ivri, eved, as a lad, as a Jew, as a slave, and immediately the first impression is what imprinted on him, and that's how he described Yosef to Paro. Now, why is that so problem? Why is that a problem for first impressions? Because what happens then is based on Sar Mashkim's first impression, based on the cupbearer's first time seeing Yosef, he then went on and said Lashon Hara about Yosef. And we know that the severity of Lashon Hara is, you can, with one line, with one word of Lashon Hara, it takes years and years to put it out or to make people forget about it. They say about a first impression, that first impression you make within 9 seconds of seeing someone. I see someone for the first time, within 9 seconds, I like him or I don't like him. I think he's smart or not, successful or not. I already have my judgment about that individual. And within 9 seconds. And for me to fix that first impression, they say it takes maybe 12, 13, 15 more encounters with the individual for him to fix his image and fix that first impression in my mind. How can that be? 9 seconds that'll take that long to fix? And even if more so, a year later, the individual slips up. And I once heard Lashon Hara about the guy saying, this guy's very stingy. And I've never seen it in action. He always gives tzedakah. He always kavod. 1 year later, I go to him for a donation. He says, no, I'm not giving right now. I knew it. This person told me a year ago you were stingy. He didn't. Why do you assume he's stingy? He never did anything wrong. People are allowed to have bad days. They can wake up on the wrong side of the bed. So from here, with the Torah is teaching us the importance and the danger of making a first impression, and then chas v'shalom speaking Lashon Hara about that first impression. If we speak Lashon Hara, it gives other people an impression about that subject. Now, how do we fix that impression? 12, 13, 14 more encounters that this individual needs to say, I'm good, I'm calm, I'm not like that. But until then, it's not fair because of our first impression and chas v'shalom, the Lashon Hara that we spoke, to harm an individual so gravely. And this is the lesson that Torah is hinting to with the story of the Sar Mashkim, where the Mefarshim explained that what was the negative language? Nar, Ivri, Eved, a lad, he was dumb, he doesn't speak our language, he's a slave. It's not necessarily that it was false, but it was that the Sar Mashkim, he acted upon it and he told it over to Paro based on a simple first impression and not knowing Yosef wholeheartedly. So from here, learn the lesson of the dangers of first impression, that we have to always give benefit of the doubt. But more than that, Chas v'Shalom, speaking Lashon Hara, how much more damage it can cause. We said one line, that one line will stay there for many, many, many years, unfortunately, and will be much harder for the subject to clear his name. We have to learn this lesson and be very careful what we say, how we say it, and what we think. Have a wonderful day. Shavua Tov.